Sandy hangs up the phone with relief. These blue flu calls always make her nervous. But she reminds herself it's for the good of the teachers' union. The administration will be scrambling to manage classrooms with so many teachers out. Even with a substitute, her class of 7th graders will fall into chaos within 5 minutes. Last year, the kids stapled the substitute's cardigan to the chair. Sandy had to stifle a laugh when she heard. They weren't bad kids, just the sons and daughters of canning factory workers, bowling alley attendants, and Avon ladies, afraid of a world they'd already been excluded from. Unaccustomed to no morning rush, she scans the tidy kitchen counter for something to do and picks up her old coffee maker, a metal octagon she'd brought with her from New Jersey. It is really the only remnant of her Cubanness. Her parents fled the island when Sandy was barely 3. Their exile had been plagued with the idea of returning home, to ocean humidity, to the sweet smell of burning sugar cane. But somehow, despite the parade of black beans and cortaditos and radio mambi, Sandy had slipped through their web of Cubanness to grow up on cheese whiz and cheerleading in the suburbs of New Jersey. She considers herself just another ingredient in America's big melting pot. And yet, it hasn't been an easy transition to this small Midwestern town of 2,307 inhabitants. After 5 years, she still notices people staring at her in the grocery store. Upon introducing herself to new parents at school meetings, they often reply, "Oh, you're that Cuban woman Terry Siegel married." To which her standard answer has become, "Yes. It's like I Love Lucy, but in reverse." She fills the coffee maker's metal body with water, then adds the filter when the phone begins to ring, shrill in the bad acoustics of the over-tiled, curtainless kitchen. "Hi, Sandy. Everything all right over there?" It's Joanne, the neighbor. An upbeat polka plays so loudly in the background it's surprising Joanne can hear anything. "Oh, hi, Joanne. Everything's fine, yeah? 'Cause I saw your car still in the driveway." Sandy hesitates. Joanne and Sandy are walking partners out of convenience. After about 400 miles, they've become something just short of friends. Sandy helps Joanne through her regular breakups with Weight Watchers, and Joanne feeds Sandy helpful gossip about which parents spend their nights shit-faced at the Hustle Inn. Sandy's learned to keep their chats free of politics and religion. A teachers' union strike, instead of being an example of how to mend America's fabric, could be seen as a match to ignite it. "Just a touch of the flu, I think. Nothing serious," says Sandy. "Terry's home, then, to give you some TLC?" Joanne knows that Terry isn't home, but she plays along. "No, he's got a job up north this week. Need me to come over and walk Rufus?" Sandy glances at her border collie, lying on his back with all 4 paws skyward. He'd actually been Joanne's idea. She'd been discreet about seeing Sandy year after year without a bulging belly. Then she'd said offhandedly during one of their evening walks, "My cousin's got a few collie pups to unload." Sandy had picked up Rufus the next day. She doesn't feel like having Joanne over now. "That's sweet, but I'll let him out in the yard." After a thick, sugary coffee, she takes Rufus into the woods behind their house. In the beginning, she hadn't taken Terry's proposal to move to rural Wisconsin seriously. These woods had been her tipping point. The maples, elms, birch, and beech had lured her beyond a life of tiny paved driveways and lawns measured in square feet. They bought the land at a good time, dirt cheap, on a tip-off from Terry's parents. 11 acres all in all, from the road up through the woods. When the farmer who owned the neighboring fields had died, Sandy had wanted to buy those too and restore them to forest. Terry shook his head when she told him. "This is farm country," he said. "When we want more wilderness, we go up north." But she'd been adamant about making an offer on the land. Of course, they'd gotten a resounding no from the farmer's oldest son, Jimmy. "Why do you want to buy farmland? You ain't farmers. It ain't for sale. Stay off our land," had been his response. Terry hadn't said "I told you so." but she knew she'd crossed the line. It still hangs over her now. It's a clear day, but the woods cast a cool shadow. The buds on the maple trees remain tightly wrapped for the winter, the branches bare. A damp wind makes her face clammy. Rufus trots ahead, flushing rabbits and herding them back towards Sandy in zigzags. Her boots sink with a deep squish as she makes her way along the muddy path. Halfway through the woods, Rufus's ears prick, then flatten. He lets out a slow, guttural whine and darts ahead toward the end of their property. She stops, holds her breath. Then she hears it. Laughter, an engine, a few pop, pop, pop. Rufus, she yells. Rufus! A few more pops, and Sandy freezes, then runs through the trees after Rufus, catching glimpses of his black tail through the brush. At the property line, the trees rise bare and sullen on the edge of the field. Like austere fence posts, they taunt her. Good fences make good neighbors. Good neighbors make good fences. She can see beyond the trees now.